This is a wee video of our bikepacking trip in September. We left work on the Thursday evening, driving up, and then staying over in Morayshire before we set off on our 3-day trip. Day 1 we cycled on the road, mainly from Morayshire to Banff, following Route 1. Two of us that undertook this ride were Papa Winton and Mike Wilcox. Weather was pretty good all the way around, as you can see behind us. The aim of this trip was to enjoy the cafes rather than punish ourselves on the bikes. We had lots of cafe stops, this being one of the main highlights. Not long after we started off, we met Jim cycling to pick up his car from the local garage, so we enjoyed his company for a few miles. What we didn't know at this point was that we were going to have a headwind all the way up to Banff. This is all the cycle path section that we had just before our first coffee stop of the day, and where we had our one and only puncture of the trip. We give this one a thumbs up. Best coffee.
Fantastic coffee.
Cycling all day was just amazing. We had lovely roads like this all day long, just epic skies and hardly any traffic at all.
On another railway. Maybe see it behind us. Hopefully no punctures this time.
It was a beautiful evening as we approached Banff, and this is our last little climb before we descend down to the seaside. It'd been a lot hillier than either of us had expected, with about 1,000 metres of climbing over the day. So we were ready for our hotel when we got to Banff.
Hang the mountains. Hang the mountain point. Here we go. Push to the top.
Banff was really beautiful, and we went for a wee walk before dinner, just to enjoy the sounds of the sea. After a night in a hotel in Banff, day 2 was a cycle along the coast, all the way to Findhorn before heading inland to Grantown-on-Spey. Setting off from the hotel in Banff, we cycled along the main street, and we're about to be treated to a beautiful view along the coast, where we would cycle along the coast for most of the day. Epic views cycling one-handed with the camera, but it pays to actually look ahead, as you'll see in a second. Phew, glad I decided not to walk out in front of me. There was great variety on the coastal route, and this is just one of the towns that we happened to pass through on the way. There's a little bit of off-road, and nothing that the road bikes couldn't cope with, and it was certainly worth it to get the variety and to stay away from the traffic. We're spot on with our navigation and knew at all times where we were.
Wasn't it that close from Morayshire, wasn't it?
Was it Bucky?
Was that Bucky?
Bucky. Have a little track.
Was it Bucky? Because Bucky...
Oh no, we're not at Bucky yet.
Bucky was like 8 miles away.
Yeah, Bucky might be up here.
We're not sure where Bucky was, but there were some lovely villages to stop and admire on the way. This is a great little cycleway, multi-use path that we were on. Only room for one bike crossing this bridge, but great views again and no traffic. Well, apart from the guy waiting for me at the end of this bridge. Right. Before we finally headed inland, we decided to go out and visit the village of Findhorn, and this is us cycling along the Findhorn Bay, which is protected from the sea by a narrow entrance. We're going to go to the end of the village and sit on the beach for a little while.
Change of scenery from the coast. Mountains ahead.
We'd had a bit of a climb up from forests and the coast before we got to this plateau, and then we'd descend down to Grantown-on-Spey where we'd stay the night at friends. After a great night in Grantown-on-Spey and an excellent curry, we were heading back to Monymusk over the Lecht, and a much hillier day than we'd had in the previous 2 days.
Climbing day out of Grantown. The Lecht is still to come. It's beautiful though. Climb up there. Been a steady climb from Tool. That doesn't look too bad from here. Have a headwind though. At the top. The Lecht has 20% inclines at points, so it's quite tough. The Bridge of Brown just before Tom and Tool was probably as hard, and this is us just at the top before we get to have the descent all the way down, our final cafe stop. Our final cafe stop was at the bottom of the Lech descent, and then we had a short section of A road before we joined these lovely B roads that took us within a couple of miles of our final destination and back to the car. And we were able to get home before the weather turned, and on the way back home it started raining. We'd had 3 days of lovely sunshine, a wee bit windy, but perfect bikepacking trip. Lots of cafes.